What if you could taste any chemical, a gourmet's guide to the universe, and the fastest way to die? Introduction: the cosmic buffet. Do you dare to taste? This question comes from the deepest, most curious corners of the internet, where hypotheticals are king. It asks if you could taste any chemical substance. What would you taste first? It's an irresistible invitation, isn't it? Almost instantly, our brains launch into a wild fantasy. Gold, a diamond, or perhaps a moon rock from NASA's private collection. This superpower seems to promise a new, unexplored sensory dimension, a master key to unlock the secret flavors of the universe. It's like a VIP ticket to the ultimate cosmic buffet, and you are the sole diner. The more pragmatic, scientific answer, however, is much more of a buzzkill. The first thing you'd taste likely wouldn't be gold, but the indescribable cyberpunk flavor on your phone screen, a mix of oleophobic coating, skin oils, and who knows what bacterial metabolites. And the second thing you'd taste would likely be the very last thing you'd ever taste. But that's no fun. Let's build a proper thought experiment. To do this, we can't treat this ability as magic. We have to ground it in a plausible, albeit fictional, scientific framework. Let's assume our taste buds suddenly get a major version update, upgrading from the basic edition to developer mode. We'll call them quantum gustatory receptors, QGRs. They don't just react to a molecule's shape, they resonate with its entire quantum state, its electron cloud configuration, its vibrational frequency, and its isotopic signature. Your brain, in turn, has co-evolved a hyperdeveloped gustatory cortex, a biological supercomputer capable of translating this firehose of molecular data into a rich, coherent sensory experience we'll call chemtaste. For our experiment, we'll set a rule: the flavor of a substance is tied to its chemical complexity and stability. Simple, stable molecules, like noble gases, have a pure, clean taste. Complex, reactive, or unstable molecules, like poisons or explosives, have overwhelmingly intense, chaotic, and often painful tastes. With the rules established, let's embark on our journey. You've just awoken with this new ability. The world is a feast laid out before you. Where do you begin? Naturally, you start with the legends. You walk into the nearest jewelry store like a spy on a mission, not to buy, but to taste. First up, gold, You press your tongue to a 24-karat gold bar. What's the taste of pure wealth? The answer is profoundly boring. Gold is a noble metal, its nobility defined by its chemical aloofness. It refuses to react with almost anything. The sensation is not a flavor, but an overwhelming sense of purity and density. It's a heavy, smooth, electrically neutral taste, like the universe hit the mute button. It's the taste of a king's tomb, majestic, silent, and dead. Disappointed but undeterred, you move to the next display. A diamond, see. You lick its perfectly cut facet. The result is even more boring than the gold. If gold was a taste of dense nothingness, diamond is the taste of absolute structure. It's the flavor of a perfect crystal lattice, of carbon atoms locked in an unbreakable covalent bond. It tastes like a flawless mathematical equation, a pure, hard, cold concept, the crystalline form of pure boredom. This is a letdown. The treasures of the earth are bland. But then you walk outside and pick a wild strawberry, and your universe explodes. What you once called sweet is now revealed to be a pathetic, one-dimensional label for a symphony of sensation. Your new tongue doesn't just taste a strawberry, it experiences it. You can distinctly perceive the individual notes of hundreds of different organic molecules: the bright, fruity burst of esters, the floral hint of linalool, the subtle caramel undertone of furaniol. It's not a single taste. It's a living, evolving chord of flavors that dances across your tongue. You have just experienced your first flavor sonata. You rush to a cafe and order an espresso. It's another revelation. You instantly become the ultimate coffee snob. You can isolate the aggressive, clean bitterness of the caffeine molecule. Beneath it lies the complex, tangy harmony of the chlorogenic acids, and floating above it all is a warm, aromatic cloud of volatile compounds like pyrazines born from the roasting process. You are no longer just a coffee drinker. You are a molecular connoisseur, a gustatory artist. The world of food and drink is now an infinite playground. An old book tastes of dried cellulose, the slow decay of lignin, and the faint, bitter memory of the tannic acid in its ink. A drop of seawater is a cacophony of sodium chloride, magnesium sulfate, and the faint, ghostly taste of ancient, dissolved diatoms. This is incredible. You have the ultimate palate. What could possibly go wrong? What if you tasted everything else? The honeymoon phase ends in the most brutal way imaginable. The moment you step into a major city and take a deep breath. You had assumed taste was limited to your tongue, but you quickly learn a horrifying truth. Your quantum gustatory receptors are so sensitive, they react to the molecules in the air that enter your mouth. The taste of a city is a chemical cocktail you didn't order and can't send back. The air is a toxic soup, and for the first time, You can taste every single ingredient. The sharp metallic sting of nitrogen dioxide, $NO_$2, from car exhaust feels like licking a rusty battery. The acrid, sulfuric bite of sulfur dioxide, $SO_$2, from industrial smokestacks tastes like burning matches mixed with acid. The fine particulate matter, PM2.5, isn't a taste but a texture, a gritty, chalky bitterness that coats your entire mouth. You can't escape it. Every breath is a reminder that you live in a polluted world. Your home, once a sanctuary, becomes a chemical prison. The faint, cloying sweetness of the phthalates off-gassing from your vinyl shower curtain is nauseating. Your plastic water bottle leaches a sterile, artificial polymer taste into the purest spring water. You lick your finger after scrolling on your phone and are overwhelmed by a disgusting smear of oleophobic coating, skin oils, and the ghostly chem taste of every surface you touched that day. The world is no longer made of objects. It is made of chemicals, and most of them are repulsive. Social interaction becomes a minefield. A friendly handshake transfers a complex profile of soaps, lotions, and sweat. A kiss is unthinkable. It's no longer an intimate expression of affection, but an invasive, unconsented biochemical data exchange. You can taste their lunch, the faint metallic tang of the fillings in their teeth, the specific chemical signature of their brand of toothpaste, the complex breakdown products of the medication they took that morning. Intimacy is dead, replaced by unsolicited, high-resolution data. You feel yourself becoming a recluse, paranoid of every new sensation. But the true horror has yet to begin. One day, driven by a morbid curiosity that you can't suppress, you decide to confront the ultimate taboo. You decide to taste death. You find a chemistry lab. Your first target, potassium cyanide, KCN. The legends say it has a faint taste of bitter almonds. The legends are wrong. As the tiny crystal touches your tongue, you don't taste almonds. You experience a flavor so alien, so fundamentally wrong, that your brain struggles to even process it. It's the taste of a key fitting perfectly into a lock it was never meant to open. It is the taste of your own cellular machinery shutting down. The chem taste is a blindingly pure electric and final sensation of your own life being switched off at the source. You have less than a second to register this ultimate flavor before you cease to be. What if we tried something more powerful? Let's rewind. You didn't taste the cyanide. Instead, you find a piece of uranium, or you touch it with your tongue. This taste is different. It's not a chemical reaction. It's a physical one. It's the taste of pure violence. You don't taste the uranium atoms themselves, but the high-energy alpha particles they spit out. The sensation is a high-frequency fizzle, a panicked error message from your tongue to your brain saying, fatal cellular error. It's the taste of your own body being torn apart from the inside out, one cell at a time. It is the taste of chaos. Let's assume you survive this initial phase of discovery and horror. Let's assume everyone on Earth has this ability. How does civilization adapt to a world where every substance has a voice, and most of them are screaming? A wave of mass agoraphobia and obsessive-compulsive cleaning sweeps the globe. But human ingenuity, as always, finds a way. Society reorganizes itself around this new sensory reality. New, elite professions emerge. The most prestigious and dangerous job in the world is the gustatory analyst. Their tongues are insured for billions, and their life expectancy is terrifyingly short. Their job interview might consist of tasting a row of unlabeled beakers. A new luxury market explodes, centered on the concept of purity. Engineers develop anosmic materials, hyperstable polymers, and perfectly structured alloys designed to have zero chem taste. An apartment furnished with these materials costs more than a private island. Sensory deprivation becomes the ultimate status symbol for the ultra-rich. Law and order are reshaped. The concept of poisoning becomes obsolete. However, a new crime emerges: gustatory assault. A criminal might not kill you, but they could force you to lick a surface contaminated with a non-lethal but psychologically scarring substance, leaving you with a permanent, torturous flavor memory. Society splits into two opposing factions. On one side are the hedonists, who host extravagant flavor raves, using complex, non-toxic chemical cocktails to experience sensory states unimaginable before. On the other side are the abstainers, who view the ability as a curse, living ascetic lives and wearing custom-fitted tongue sheaths in public to shield themselves from the world's overwhelming chemical noise. What if we tried more power? You've adapted. You've become a master of this new sense. But the universe is vast, and your palate is still hungry. You decide to taste the truly forbidden flavors. You manage to get aboard a spaceship. Your first stop, the surface of the sun. You extend a robotic arm with a QGR sensor on its tip into the solar corona. The data floods your brain. Tasting a plasma is unlike anything else. It is not a flavor. It is a state of being. It's the taste of pure, unrestrained energy. It is the taste of both creation and annihilation happening at once. A single deafening, blindingly bright chord that contains all possible flavors. It's too much. It almost burns out your mind. But you recover. You travel to the corpse of a collapsed star. A neutron star. The robotic arm reaches out. The sensor touches the surface. What does neutronium taste like? The answer breaks your mind. The taste is the sensory equivalent of dividing by zero. It is the taste of crushed physics. It is the taste of absolute density. The flavor of space and time being warped into a pretzel. Your brain, trying to process this impossible data, registers only a single, crushing sensation falling. But there is one final ultimate taste. You pilot your ship to the edge of a supermassive black hole. The sensor on the robotic arm extends past the accretion disk, past the last stable orbit, and touches the event horizon. What does the edge of forever taste like? You wait for the data to flood your brain, but nothing comes. There is no signal. And in that perfect, absolute silence, you finally understand. The ultimate taste is not a sensation. It is the cessation of all possible sensation. It is the taste of information being permanently deleted from the universe. It is the taste of pure, absolute nothing. Conclusion: the Last Supper, and a dessert to bring back to reality. You return to Earth, a changed person. You have tasted the building blocks of life and the death of stars. You have experienced the universe not as a collection of objects, but as a vast, interconnected web of chemical information. And you realize the terrible truth. This ability, this gift, is the ultimate curse. It peeled back the curtain of reality, only to reveal that the universe is overwhelmingly chaotic, dangerous, and for the most part, profoundly unpleasant to the human senses. Our old, limited senses weren't a flaw, they were a shield. A carefully evolved filter designed to protect our fragile consciousness from the raw, terrifying, and indigestible truth of reality. We were built to appreciate the strawberry, not the star. You conclude that knowledge is not power, it is pain, and the price of tasting everything is the inability to simply enjoy anything. So, what does this insane thought experiment, this adventure in ultimate taste, mean for us regular people living in the real world without superpowers? The truth is, we already have this superpower. We may not be able to taste chemicals with our tongues, but we've invented far more powerful tools: the internet, social media, the 24-hour news cycle. Our senses are being extended to every corner of the planet in a way that is historically unprecedented. We are, every day, passively tasting every war, every disaster, every argument, and every lie that happens on this planet. We are experiencing an information overload of epic proportions, much like the person who just gained the superpower and was choked by the taste of the city. The ultimate philosophical lesson of this thought experiment might be this: wisdom isn't in how much information you can receive, but in how much you choose to filter out. Our ancestors evolved limited senses not because evolution failed, but because it succeeded. It understood that for a sane individual to be able to focus on the here and now, to love, to create, and to feel joy, it was necessary to shield them from the vast majority of the universe's noise that didn't concern them. Forgetting and ignorance, in many cases, are not flaws. They are the gifts upon which our survival depends. So, what this hypothesis brings us is not a fear of the unknown, but a sense of comfort. It tells us that our human limitations might just be the very root of our happiness. We don't need to taste the entire universe to appreciate the sweetness of a single strawberry. We don't need to know all the truths to choose to believe and to love. In the face of this overwhelming cosmic buffet of information, we all hold the power of choice. We can choose to passively taste everything that's served to us until our senses go numb and our spirits break, or we can actively and consciously choose a simple, delicious dinner for ourselves that nourishes our souls. So, I ask you one last time. At this feast of life, knowing all of this, what do you plan on tasting tonight?